Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I teach you guys how to sell on Belt.com. So recently I received a lot of emails from you guys talking about when I'm going to upload the next video and what the next steps should be. So today I'm here to tell you guys what the next steps are to becoming a successful seller on Belt.com. Now of course, I'm going through the same process that you guys are going through, so whatever I'm going through, you guys are only seeing a couple of weeks behind. So in reality, I am not that far from where you guys are today. So the topic that I will be covering today is how to get registered with the KvK, or the COC in English, which is the Chamber of Commerce, and why you need this and how to apply for one in various situations. So I want to get started about talking about why you need to register with the KvK. Well, Bolt.com has this policy where in order to become a seller, you need to be verified in the Chamber of Commerce. This means that you will need to apply for a number, you will have to pay the taxes, whether as an individual, an entrepreneur, or under a partnership. And the main reason for this is to avoid people avoiding tax fraud and creating companies which can practically scam other people on the platform. So what are the different ways that you can get a KvK number in order to get started with Bolt.com? Before we jump right in, let me just remind you guys that in addition to a Chamber of Commerce number, you guys will also need a BTW number, which is basically a number that associates with your tax identification. And this will be unique to every company, so you guys definitely need one. So when starting your company, there are many various routes you can take. You can sign up as an entrepreneur, as a partnership, as a BV, which is a limited company. And the way I chose to go was with a VOF. In Dutch, that's a Vernoot Onderschap Firma, which is basically a partnership agreement company. And this is only suitable if you're with 2 or more people. So if you're by yourself, you want to go for an Eenmanszaak, which basically states that you are the sole owner of your company, you own 100% of it, and there are no other shares going towards other parties. So let's get started with how you can get your number right now. So the first thing you want to do is head over to the KvK website. And on the KvK website, you will see many different information, different things you can find out. If you need any help while you're creating your company, for example, you can just head on right to this page and I'm almost certain you'll find your answer. So when I'm on this page, I want you guys to know that everything has been Google translated to English. So what you're going to see is in Dutch. But if you hit the translate button in the top right corner of your Chrome tab, then you can easily translate everything from Dutch to English and you'll see exactly what I see. So first of all, you want to hit to register. So the next thing you want to do is head over to register new company, because you guys want to register a new company. And on this page, you will see many different legal structures of how you can create your company. So if you're new to this, I would advise you to read through what the different benefits are of each type of legal structure. For example, if you sign up for being an entrepreneur, you can pay less taxes within the first year, and also if you don't exceed 20,000 euros in annual gross revenue, then you do not have to pay taxes, but that comes with some side effects, such as you are unable to claim taxes back for the next 3 years or so. So I would advise that if you're signing up as an individual, you would probably go for the self-employed entrepreneur legal structure, because that gives you a lot of flexibility. But if you're working with 1 or more people like I am, then you would choose, for example, the VOF. So I'm sure majority of you are starting off as an entrepreneur or freelancer. So head over to the first tab, proprietorship. And under here, you need to log in with your DigiD. Now this is very important, since DigiD is the backbone of the Netherlands. So without it, you are confined to not a lot of features in the Netherlands. So if you don't have one, you can already get signed up. It takes not that long, I believe, maybe a couple days, maybe even less. But yeah, once you're ready, you can just hit the login, and now you'll be brought over to this page. Note that I've blurred out the important tabs such as email address, my name, so you won't see it. But what you will see is an empty blank space for you to fill out your private information. So go ahead, fill that in, your email address, and after that your telephone number, and after that your name, and then you will be brought right to this page. So on this page, you want to fill out every single box as detailed as you can. So for example, what will your company do? You want to basically already have an open mind about what you plan on selling, maybe the categories that you will dive deep into, the niches for example. And the main reason for being really in depth with this is because later on you have to book an appointment with the KvK in order to verify your company and officially get it started. And over there they want you to be as precise as possible about what you want to do so they can put it in their system in case in the future if anything goes wrong they can always look back and see what you basically said you were going to do versus what you've done. So I want you to keep in mind that for us, when we registered our VOF, we did not have any papers handy. We had not filled out much information. So when we turned up to that meeting, we basically were unprepared to say the least. But the people at the KvK were very friendly. They told us that they could get everything sorted. They would print the papers, come back with it, and as long as we could sign it and fill it back on time, then there would be no issues. But to avoid the hassle of perhaps having to create another date of appointment, I would suggest that you fill this out as concise as possible and with as much as information as you can give so that the person on the other side can quickly register and verify you. So once you're ready, you can just hit check data, and what it will let you do is see an overview of what you've written, make sure that everything is correct. For example, double check your date of birth, your address, your email address, and then complete the registration form. Now, if you're gonna sign up for VOF, which in most cases is if you want to work with one or more people where the shares of your company has to be divided into 2 or more halves, then you can follow these steps. So first what you want to do is head over to the KvK, and then you want to choose the VOF option instead of the entrepreneur option, and then you'll be brought to this page. So once you hit the register button, you'll be brought to another page, which is this page, where you can fill out your details really quickly. And then once you fill out your detail, you can click the yellow button at the bottom of the page, which says send email confirmation. And then you have to check your email. Maybe it'll take a minute or two before it appears there. But in the email, it will send you a link, and you click on the link in order to fully complete your registration. First, verify that your contact information is correct, such as your name and your email address. The next thing you want to do is head over to the next tab. Now on this tab it says, when did your company first start? The name of your company, the name of your partnership. Does this partner, for example, have a restricted amount of hours they have to work, and is you registered already with the tax authorities? So most of the time you can click yes for the first one and no for the second, and then you can head over to the next tab. Now notice the other people who work with you. So for example, partners. So in the first part they are asking you what is the date where your partner was first introduced into the company. You can put this as, for example, the start of when your company was created. And then you can click yes on the second option because this person is a natural person. It is not an object or something else. And then you can see in the next tab it will ask for the private information of your partners, for example. So you'll need to give them the BSN number, which is basically an identification number, their name, their date of birth, the place where they were born, and then you'll have to give them the address. And then at the bottom of the page you will see something with footnote. So it's basically asking you what the role of this person is, whether they have restricted access to the company or unlimited access. So whether they're basically as high of a position as the person who founded the company, or whether they are only able to do some things and some things not. So if they are unrestricted, you can put unbeperkt, and if they are restricted, then you put beperkt, and that's basically all you have to worry about. Now you can add more people by going to the top of the page and clicking the plus button, and you just do that as many times as partners as you have. And get on to the next category, which is asking about your firm's location. So you can put when you first created the company, then you can fill out the place where your company is located. So in most places this would be your house, and that's completely fine. You can use a house, you can use a warehouse or storage place, but I think that it's best to use your house if you're starting off, and you can always change it later if you decide to move to a warehouse or such. And then when you scroll down, you will see activiteit. So the first part of the box, you want to fill a small little summary of the activity of your company, so what you plan on doing. So for example, for you guys, it would be selling items on a web shop. And then in the second part, if you have more activities that you are doing with your company, for example, if you are tutoring other kids, for example, as a side hustle of your company, then in the second box, you're gonna have to write down what is the most important function of your company. So what is your company solely based on? And I think for the majority of you would be selling things on a web shop. So if you're not planning on using your company for anything else, you can just put not applicable, or something similar. The next option is it's asking you if you import products to your location. So you're gonna have to click yes, because most of you will be importing or outsourcing from mainland China or India, so it's really important you click yes. And then the next, are you exporting products from your location? So if you're unsure about this, I would just put yes to be safe, but this is mainly asking you if you're gonna export products outside of Europe. So if you do, of course, there are tax applies and such. So they just want to make sure that if you are exporting things outside of Europe, that you are following the regulations. So if you are not, I would just put no, but if you were unsure, I would just put yes. And keep in mind that you can always clarify these things when you head over to the Chamber of Commerce during your appointment. And the next part, it says detail handle. So are you as an entrepreneur selling things to consumers? So the first option is saying, are you selling things in a shop or a kiosk? I'm guessing for the majority of you it's no. Yeah, majority of these other options are no, because you are selling things online. The only thing which applies to being yes is via internet, because most of you are selling to a web shop, and the web shop applies to the internet. So you're gonna have to click yes for the internet. Now the next part is, are you as an entrepreneur selling things to other companies or firms? So by this they mean, are you selling a bulk of items? An item, for example, which comes in a big crate, which you sell in hundreds at a time. So for majority of you, I'm guessing that's no, because when you're selling on a web shop, you're selling individual single products to other individual customers, so you can just put no for this. Now the handelsnaam is what you want your company to be called. Make sure that you check on the KvK website. I'll put a quick link in the description about where you can check the available names for companies, so that you don't choose one that has been taken. In the event that you do choose one that has been taken, when you go to the appointment, they will double check to verify that you are given a company name that is unique and hasn't been taken. Now you can just fill in your telephone number, and in the last tab, now you can just fill in your telephone number, and the two questions at the bottom of communications is asking, does your firm have a domain address? So you can just put no, it doesn't really matter what you put. If you don't have a domain address, it won't affect your sign up in any way. And if you don't have an email address which is unique, for example, which has a domain under your company name, then you can just leave it as no. And in the last tab, it will ask how many people of your company are working full-time and how many are working part-time. Now the definition of full-time according to them is 15 hours or more per week. So if you, for example, if you're working on this every single day for about 3 hours, then you are working full-time. And if as a partner, you have other partners who are not working more than 15 hours per week, you could just fill how many people of those you have. Now we can head over to the next slide. I can just head over to the next slide. It's basically asking, do you have any attorneys present? You can click no, since most of us don't. And then the next part is asking, does your company or organization want to exclude yourself from receiving posts that are directed towards marketing? So what they mean by this is, do you want to be excluded from receiving marketing posts? So through the mailbox and such. And I would click yes, because otherwise you're going to be spammed with a lot of people telling you to upgrade your internet or your energy service. And the last part, if you don't plan on hiring anyone to do any of your labor for you, you can just fill in no. And if you do, you can fill in yes, but I don't exactly know what happens when you click yes. I'm guessing there is also another legal structure that you have to fill out to ensure that you compensate them. For example, you pay for the insurance and such. If you head over to the last category, it's asking you, do you want to register yourself with the tax authorities? I said this earlier, and you should put this as a yes. It's because you do need a tax number when you want to register for Bolt.com. So in order to get started, you do need a tax number, and if you register right now, it will all be handled in one go instead of you having to then make an appointment with the tax authorities in order to get a tax number. Now, when you head over for the appointment, they will ask you the same thing, and if you forget to put it now, then you can always head over there and tell them that you do want to be registered with the tax authorities. Now you can head over to the last page, which is Overzicht, which means it's an overview of what you filled out. You can look at, make sure that all the information you filled out is correct. And once you're ready, you can send it. Now you're almost done. Once you've sent it, you can now you will now receive a link asking you to book an appointment with the KvK. And now all you have to do is simply choose a date which fits you, a time which fits you, and a location which is easily accessible. Once you've done that, all you have to do is wait for your appointment and make sure that you filled out the forms which they've asked you to do. Now, of course, it would be much easier for you to fill out the forms now, but in the event that you're unsure of how to fill it out, you can always leave it until the appointment. At the appointment, you can basically tell them that you were unsure of how to fill it out and that you would like more insight as to what every section means, and they would be more than happy to help you. Now, if you did not manage to fill out the form, it may come with some drawbacks, such as if you are unable to fill out the form in time, you will have to book another appointment, which could mean that your next appointment is in 2 weeks, and so you'll only be able to get started by next month, for example. However, it is safer to just wait for the appointment if you're unsure than to fill out the forms wrongly and suddenly realize that you filled out a part wrongly and you can't change it. Now, another great thing about signing up with the KvK is in the event that you want to change your company around, you can always edit the information online on the KvK website. So for example, if you want to stop dropshipping and go to online tutoring, you can always edit your company and change how your company works. Now, I hope that this has given you plenty of insight on how to get started with the KvK, what you need for Bolt.com seller, and how to get started. And of course, if you need any more information, simply send me an email. I reply to that almost on the same day. And I hope that this has been very helpful for you, and I wish you a lot of success with it. Don't forget to let me know how it goes, and like I said, if you have any questions, simply send me an email or drop it down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, hit the notification bell if you want to hear more. And our next video will be how to get started selling on Bolt.com. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys, and see you next time.